Hello, everybody. Welcome along. My name is Benjamin Bloom, and this is the Benjamin Bloom Football Channel, and this is our Championship Game Week 3 review. We are here live. We are on YouTube. We are on Twitter. So come and join us, and we will go through all of this latest game week action in the Championship. First of all, let me know that you can see me and hear me all loud and clear. And let me know who you are supporting in the Championship, or whichever team you support, quite frankly. We will get into everything momentarily. Let me just quickly give a shout out to our fan sponsor of this series through the season is Russ Peak. A fan and now a friend, despite Ben's terrible taste in football teams. That is banterous behaviour from Russ, but we thank him kindly for his sponsorship. And if you want to get involved in sponsorship of any of the recurring shows on this channel, you can do so. First and foremost, shall we have a little look over on the split screen at the results, and then we will go game by game. Have a little think about your goal of the week and your team of the week for game week number 3. If I split the screen up, you will see this round of results. Huddersfield 1, Nottingham Forest 0, Wycombe 0, Swansea 2, Watford 1, Luton 0 in the big derby there, Preston 0, Stoke 1, first win of the season there for Michael O'Neill. Millwall 1, Brentford 1 in a London derby. Barnsley 0, Coventry 0. First point for Barnsley. Derby 0, Blackburn 4. Wow. Cardiff 1, Reading 2. Reading march on. Birmingham 1, Rotherham 1. A point for Paul Warne. Could have been 3. QPR 1, Middlesbrough 1. Neil Warnock derby of epic proportions there. Bristol City 2, Sheffield Wednesday 0. Bristol City march on. And a battle of two big parachute teams there at the bottom. Bournemouth 1, Norwich City 0. That is our game week results here. Let's have a little look in here. Streaky Dean. Streaking in the right way at the moment. Charlie is here, sponsor on our live watch-along shows. George is here. Gaza. Dean ain't streaky. Well, he is so far. He's winning streaky. Dan Juma is magic. Yes, he was again today. Up Ben. Skull. XRD. We got plenty of Bristol City fans in here today. Love it. Alistair is here. Alex is here. Charlie is embarrassed to be a City fan. Nick is here. Jason. Elliot says, boom, boom, boom. Everybody say, hey, Benny boy. Doesn't quite scan, does it? Dave is here. Alistair. Will. Charlie. Yes. There's plenty of you in here. Let's scroll all the way down here. Oh, goodness me. Me right now, we are top of the league. Hello, my brav. Terrier, QPR, loads of people in here. Great stuff. Shall we go first and look at our league leaders, who are Dean Holden's Bristol City? Much to my surprise, I have to say, he started quite brilliantly with this winning streak, Dean Holden, and they took Sheffield Wednesday down. Sheffield Wednesday looking to get back to -5 points today. A win would have done for them. However, 'twas not to be. There are our teams. So Bristol City there. Bentley, Moore, Mawson and Viner are the back three. No Callas at the moment. Hunt and Rowe on the score sheet indeed. Vyman, Bakinson, who the Bristol City fans are raving about, and Patterson and Chris Martin up front with Nucky Wells. He's already, as we've said in the channel, already taken Jeju out of the team. For Wednesday, Dawson in goal, a back three as well. Iorfa, Lees and Van Aken. Harris and Palmer are wing backs. Don't know what's happened to Matt Penny this week. Bannon and Luongo with Brown in the 10. That's decent. Nicely balanced midfield 3, isn't it? Maybe not too tough in the tackle, but there we go. Kachunga and Windass up front. As I said, it ended 2-0 to Bristol City. Here is Tommy Rowe from Chris Martin's knockdown. He's sliding that one in. I think Martin's already got a couple of assists now this season. And for 2-0, there is Jamie Patterson, who's been absolutely brilliant since he came back from his loan at Derby. He's going to curl that one in right-footed. Get your comments in on Bristol City and on Sheffield Wednesday. We'll come to them. We'll just have a look at the numbers. Remember, before you have a pop at me, I can't watch every single game. So we have a look at the goals. We have a look at the numbers. And if you've got extra info, please give it. We don't rely 100% on the numbers, but they look pretty good in Bristol City's favour there. 58 on the possession, 16 shots to 7. Big chances, 2-0, always revealing. Plus 4-8 passes to 307. Now, we'll have a look at the league table at the end of the show, but superb stuff from Bristol City. Great stuff here. City can get promoted. Shouldn't have doubted Holden. There we go. As good an appointment as Holden seems to be, Mawson and Martin. Yeah, they have worked out really, really well. Do I still reckon Dean will get sacked? Well, at the moment, absolutely not. No, he's won every single game. So it'd be silly of me to think that, wouldn't it? We are going up. Some excited Bristol City fans here. And Dean Holden certainly proving me wrong. I thought it'd be a bit of a struggle there, but he is doing a fine job. Sheffield Wednesday was a good start. 4 points from 2. Just dropped off this week. They're going to need a win in the next 2 games. Mike says, great start from Robbins, but a long season ahead. How very reasonable of you, Mike, in the face of lots of excitable Bristol City fans there. Blazing says it was an even first half, got much better in the second. I've always told Ben that Holden will be the next Guardiola. But to be fair, you have. And if that happens, I will bow in your greatness, Anir, on that one. Our other 100%ers are Reading, who have now won 3 games on the trot. Also, they went off to Cardiff. They've proved me wrong a few times. I thought they were fairly lucky to win last week. Certainly a couple of red cards against Gerhard Struber's Barnsley helped them out. But they've done the business here again over at Cardiff, winning this one 2-1. Morrison, Zhao on the score sheet. Tomlin for Cardiff. Very nicely settled. They've brought Lewis Gibson, and you can see him on the bench there. He doesn't come in at centre-half. Still, Rinomota and Laurent. John Swift, who last season was, for the most part, Reading's best player, wasn't he? He's not around. I think he's done his Achilles. So Maite came in and Ajarian moved into the centre there, which I like the look of, to be honest, anyway, although obviously you'd prefer Reading team with Swift in. Lucas Zhao up top, who can see scored, but I believe has dislocated his shoulder. So we'll get an update on him. Cardiff, pretty standard. I don't know whether that's unchanged from their win over Forest the previous week, but looks a nice, strong team indeed. Let's have a look at the stills for the goals here for Reading. Bit blurry camera here, I have to say. That is Michael Morrison. Apologies for the quality of that. On the near post, he's going to glance the header in. Lucas Zhao, this kind of belies what he's just done before. Really nice feet, a good mix of upper body strength and good feet to create the space. And obviously, he's going to score from there with the left foot. Down the other end, Lee Tomlin following up from a set play. Sean Morrison's never far away, is he? And he gets that over the line. Get your comments in on Cardiff versus Reading. I'm just going to have a look at the numbers and we'll see what they say. They say 52-48 in Cardiff's favour on the possession. 12 shots to 6. 5 each on target. 6 corners to 3. 1 big chance apiece. 401 passes to 377. 160. Excuse me. I've got that wrong. Accurate passes 303 to 283. The numbers tell us that Reading, again, really nice, efficient performance, let's just say, because only one big chance apiece. So Reading's finishing very good. And they didn't concede many chances. I don't want to rain on your parade here, Reading fans, but some idea that a regression to the mean may be coming. Remember, we know one of two things are true when performance, when outperforms the numbers. Either the numbers catch up performance and Reading will keep winning, or Reading will come down to the numbers and there may be a regression to the mean. Again, I'm not saying anything bad. 3 wins out of 3, just looking at the numbers, of course. Charlie says, really good game, dominant performance, but Yao, Swift and Arunya injured long term, so worry for us. But happy days, indeed. Enjoy it. Jason said, Barnsley season depends if they can keep their manager. Heard on EFL on Quest show. Yeah, links with him going to New York. Ashley already loving Paunovic. Oliver says Cardiff and Harris will end in tears. I said it from day one. Matthew says Reading, Watford next. Interesting. The two teams right up the top who are winning without blowing anybody away. Yeah, that will be an interesting one. Ashley says predicted Reading 7th this year. Harris has a plan A and no plan B. Remember, do I think Reading can challenge this year? Possibly. Honestly, I know they've won the 3 games. And look, let's just put this out here. If you are a snowflake, thin-skinned football fan, you shouldn't watch this channel because I'm going to look at it very balanced. I'm going to look at the numbers. I'm going to look at the evidence. And if they don't tell me that Reading are going to shoot off into the distance with great stats, I won't say it. So I don't see evidence yet that this Reading run will continue in quite the same way. But that evidence could come later down the line. But great start. Great start for Paunovic. Nice shirt, Ben. Thank you. Hope you're having a good evening. My Reading winning 3 from 3, 2020, and even getting more bizarre. Yao missing would be huge. Alex says, wonder if Cardiff affected by the Mendes-Lang affair. They've covered that up quite nicely, though, haven't they? We have heard nothing more of that. Let's talk Swansea. Swansea went off to Wycombe. And we did it as a watch-along, didn't we? I hope you enjoyed it. If you joined me for the Swansea versus Wycombe watch-along, Swansea are in 3rd place. They are not 100%ers like the top 2, Bristol City and Reading are. But they look pretty decent. Only dropped points at home against Birmingham in that 0-0. And anyone who watched this game will know that particularly the first 30 minutes of this were an absolute massacre, weren't they? Swansea, there was a genuine argument. They could have been 4 or 5-0 up. Found it really, really easy. Woodman, love that back 3. Cabango, Rodden, Guay, brilliant. Bidwell and Roberts, the wing-back. Smith and Grimes, central midfield. And Gibbs White and Lowe off AU, but quite fluid, that front 3. I like it, actually. Wycombe there, Allsop, Grimace, Stewart, Tafazoli, McCarthy, obviously Charles suspended after getting sent off over at Blackburn the previous week. Wheeler, Adenirian, who's in on loan from Everton, Freeman on your dimmer, Bloomfield off of Samuel up top. Get your thoughts in on this one. We'll just have a look at the stills for the goals. You can see creating some pretty big chances for these goals. Swansea, that's come from Bidwell, and a player of AU's quality is obviously just going to slide that one into the net from, 4 or 5 yards. And the second, again, look, they carved them open to create tap-ins. AU squares there for Jamal Lowe to stick that one in. The scoring stopped at 2-0. The numbers tell us that this was a bit of a pasting, wasn't it? 64%, look at that, 17 shots to 8. 7 corners to 5. And I always say big chances are very revealing. 5 big chances to 0. 505 passes to 273. A bit of a thrashing that Swansea gave Wycombe. there. Ben, I'm taking inspiration from you and convert my challenge at Championship only. Love it. Hope you will. Keep up the good work. Harris will get the sack if results don't improve. What do you think of Mill? We'll come on to that in a minute. Talking about Swansea and Wycombe, though, guys, we'll come on to the other teams in a minute. Anything there? Alex says we have Swansea next. Will be a tough test after a good performance against Brentford. Oliver says, I honestly thought we would be murdered yesterday and did not. How far does that show we've come? Indeed. One more here on this game. Swansea, a good young side. Just hope the Wycombe board don't do anything crazy. Nah, they won't, will they, Jason? And he will keep the job. Van der Horn went to the Bundesliga. I can't remember which team he went to, Alex, but no, he has a club. Indeed, if you've got questions, we can do a little Q&A at the end. At the moment, try and focus on the game in hand. And the next one is Bournemouth versus Norwich, two parachute teams. They're two ex-Premier League teams, and Bournemouth get the win 1-0. Feels like a long time since Norwich lost a game in the Championship. Obviously, they were in the Premier League, but even that run in, they barely lost from sort of Christmas onwards, Norwich. I just can't even remember them in the back half of that season. I think it might have lost to Preston away, but otherwise, it seems a very strange feeling to see Norwich losing in the Championship. And they did today, 1-0. Norwich fans a bit irked. They revealed their third kit. Emi Buendia was wearing it. They all thought he was staying. He is nowhere to be seen. He is not suspended. I don't believe he is injured. And also there, Todd Cantwell not around. Leeds have bid 15 million for Cantwell. So maybe Norwich could just do with this stuff getting sorted and then they can really focus there. Krul, Aaron Zimmerman, Godfrey Quintilla, Skip. I didn't see the game, so I can't tell you whether that team shape's correct. Farker usually a 4-2-3-1 guy, though. So I would assume it was McLean alongside Skip rather than how they've got that. But I don't know. I didn't see the game. Hernandez right, Placheta left, Rupp comes in for Cantwell in the 10. Still not fancying Stieperman. Pookie up top for Norwich for Bournemouth. Begovic, Rico, Cook, Mepham. So no Lloyd Kelly there. Smith and Stacey are the fullbacks. Cook, Lerma, Billing in the midfield. Danjuma, who started the season really well, hasn't he? And Solanke up top. Here is the goal. It was Danjuma again. I do have a still of it somewhere. Not that I can find it. There it is. Danjuma, you can see the ball there, just the Krill's left. Danjuma in the back of the shot there. What you don't see is it's actually a really good turn, I think, on Christoph Zimmermann in the first instance. So another example of Bournemouth scoring a worldie. They've scored some really good goals this season. And again, please don't be thin-skinned if you're a Bournemouth fan. Great start by Bournemouth, 7 points. However, teams don't score worldies every single week. And at the moment, Bournemouth are. So if I'm a Bournemouth fan, I want to see some pattern of play goals. I mean, don't complain. Well, they're all flying in like this from outside the box. That's the only possible worry you'd have as a Bournemouth fan, that maybe the Solanke back heels and Stacey and Danjuma from outside of the box may dry up. But otherwise, looking really nice. Bournemouth, again, this is not a channel for the thin-skinned. We're going to analyse things, and it's the, I don't want to say it really, but it's quite a low intelligence position to just think good about your football club and not analyse any possible things that could need tweaking. For Norwich, a win, a draw, now a defeat. Derby next week. They could do with a win there. Moreover, they could do with sorting out this sort of speculation for Aaron's, Barcelona and Bayern Munich. You know, nice to be linked with those big clubs. But and then obviously Buendia and now Cantwell as well, all linked away. They could do with that window shutting and settling everything down. Let's have a look at your comments here. So I'm just scrolling up, guys. anything here on Norwich and Bournemouth? Jim doesn't rate Cantwell, so Norwich may want to cash in. Fire sale coming for Norwich. Not really a fire sale as such, but certainly assets that they can profit on. Ashley says, early days, I think Bristol City challenge for top 6. Maybe Bournemouth will do better than I expected. Do I think Norwich will be the championship team to go into administration because there's COVID? No, absolutely not. No, they're very financially stable now. Elliot says Norwich has lots of the ball, but at the end of the day, it's all about chances, and we had the best chances. Yeah, okay, fair. Sorry, I didn't bring up the numbers for this one, did I? Let me just have a look into the numbers. Sorry, I should have done that, shouldn't I? 64-36. So Norwich did have a lot of the ball, but only 13 shots to 12 and 5 shots on target each. So maybe Elliot's perception there rings true. 8 corners to 3 as well, says some territory. But then look there, yeah, 1 big chance to Bournemouth. 0 big chances created by Norwich. Lots of passes by Norwich, 620. So I guess if I'm a Norwich fan, I'm kind of pleased that they're keeping the ball because in the end, you would hope that if the possession is of any kind of quality, that the chances will follow after that. Talk the Swan says, unpopular opinion, Norwich won't get top 6. Then Clem says Norwich will be up there. Anything more here? I think we're all good for Norwich Bournemouth. If I can do a really, really quick plug for the channel before we move on to Watford, Luton, Derby, Blackburn, Birmingham, Rotherham and Millwall, Brentford. You can support via Super Chat. You can support via Patreon or Amazon Shopfront. Please, if you're in the stream now, like, comment, subscribe. We have reached 12,300 subscribers over here. Right, let's move on. We're going to do Watford versus Luton now. First time these two teams have met in 14 years, I believe, is the number. I don't know what you call it because one's in Hertfordshire and one's in Bedfordshire, if I've got my UK counties right here. But I don't know, M1 Derby? You tell me. Let's have a little look at the teams. It was Foster in goal, Wilmot, Cavalese, Cathcart there, centre halves, and Ngakia Sema, very settled already. Cleverly, Chalobah comes in there, and João Pedro and Sarr actually gets a start. We talked about the big players here, some of them playing here. David Brooks, Josh King at Bournemouth, Sarr. We thought maybe it might be Buendia this week for Norwich as well, but alas, no. For Luton there, that seems to be Nathan Jones' preferred 11, and it's done well so far this season. This is the first defeat. Sluga in goal, Pearson and Bradley. Centre halves, Craney, Norrington, Davis, Mpanzu, Tunnicliffe and Berry, Cornick, Lee and Collins. Probably more 4-3-3-ish than that would intimate. And Watford win this by the 1 goal. João Pedro off the mark. I have to say, big deflection on that. I've got João Pedro there in the still hitting that shot. I don't know who the Luton defender is there. Is that Pearson or Bradley? Someone will tell me. That's going to hit him and deflect in to Sluga's left in that big hole there. So a little bit of a fortunate deflection there. Let's have a look at the numbers in this game. Yeah, they're strange numbers, actually. 51% possession to Luton, but then 14 shots to 4 for Watford and 5 shots on target, 0 shots on target for Luton. Although Collins did hit the crossbar. I know that isn't a shot on target, but it's very, very close, isn't it? 11 corners to 1. Wow. 1 big chance apiece, though. So, as I always say, big chances revealing. 4-14 and 4-20 on the passes. Very, very tight. Get your comments in Watford, Luton. Watford haven't conceded a goal yet. I am getting a sense a little bit with Watford that at the moment, without necessarily blowing anybody away, they have good players. They seem very organised and they're not conceding any goals. So the 7 points they will take to the bank. Maybe if I'm a Watford fan, I would want to see a really good, well, which fan wouldn't want to see a really convincing performance. But some idea that the points and the wins are just ahead of the performances. As always, either the performances will catch up or Watford will regress to the mean. We will see what happens with them. Luton, really, really good start. Difficult game. Watford, parachute team, ex-Premier League team, loads of good players, and they're not conceding any goals. So, let's have a little look here at your comments here. Love Nathan Jones' comments after the game. I didn't see them, Alex. You have to let me know what they are. Here, Luton still looking for Watford goal. Well, no one scoring against Watford there. Luton will not stay where they are near the bottom three. They may drop down, but hey, doesn't matter at what point in the season you get the points on the board. Just get them on the board. Nick says we never got in the game. Ben Collins hit the bar from 6 yards out. They score 1 minute later. Yes. But Watford are just tight at the moment and just winning the big moments in the games, aren't they? And getting the points on the board. Jason says Watford, good chance to get promoted if they can keep so. I noticed Deeney back on the bench as well. I did not spot that indeed. Not sure on Ivic yet, Ben. Well, seems to have got them organised and they're not conceding any goals yet, are they? Alex says Collins hits the bar one end. Yeah, Watford break and score was like the Leicester playoff game all over again. Interesting. Ashley also says not convinced yet with Ivic. We'll see. Luton will be fine this season, I think so. He said it was the most overwhelming, Nathan Jones says, and lacklustre derby ever. Had a pop at the Watford bench. Lovely stuff. He loves a fight with the opposition bench, Nathan Jones, doesn't he? It's almost like he's got little man syndrome, isn't it? But hey, he's doing a fine job at Luton. Let's go on. We're going to Derby 0. Blackburn 4 is our next game. Two things to note here. Derby keep losing, and Blackburn have scored 9 goals in their last 2 games. I did not foresee this coming. There's a pattern here with my predictions being absolutely terrible. Jim, you legend. He says, wine and macarons. Indeed. Thank you, sir. A £10 super chat from Jim. Thank you very, very much. Every little helps. 79p, 2 quid, 10 quid, whatever you can do. Thank you so much, guys, trying to make a go of this. Flash that one more time. Thank you, Jim. He's just held off for you Derby fans here, not wanting to see this. Derby lining up there. Marshall in goal. Burn. Taveric is back after a suspension. Wisdom. Where's Matt Clark on the bench? I don't understand that. Buchanan, Bird and Rooney. So Rooney finally back in the central midfield position. Knight, Sibley and Josviak. So we expect Jordan Ibe to be a while to get to fitness with Jack Marriott up top. Blackburn, Kaminsky, Bell Williams, Lenihan, Rankin Costello. Bradley Johnson's going to score 2 in this one. Rothwell and Holtby. But the interesting thing with Blackburn at the moment, Brereton, Armstrong and Tyrese Dolan as well. Didn't see him coming. 2 games now. Lots of goal threat contributions, step overs, dribbles, goals, assists. Lovely stuff. Tyrese Dolan. Indeed. Have a good look out for him. Let's get the stills up so you can see the nature of these goals. Not very pretty for Derby. We'll wait until the end to look at the league tables. There is Tyrese Dolan. Don't worry, he's not offside. That ball has hit the post, bounced back out to him, and then he's ran onto it. So slightly fortuitous that it bounced straight to him. But as I say, keep your eyes on him. Tyrese Dolan, Blackburn. Bradley Johnson, how many times have we seen him do this? What is he? I don't know, 26, 27 yards out. He's going to smash that one in left-footed. You can see Marshall a little bit over to the right-hand side of his goal looking around Andre Wisdom. And this one is going to take a big deflection. Take a look at Taveric in the middle there. It's going to bounce off him. Or is it? It might even be Buchanan. Pass on that one. It's going to deflect anyway and fly past Marshall into the corner. Bradley Johnson for years has been so good. He's not a what's the word? Technically he's very good because what I'm about to say, but he's not going to do any like real clever creative stuff. But he's so good at just being that central midfielder, that number 8 who arrives on stuff, gets shots on target, and gets goals. We've seen it so many times. Derby fans have seen it twice again in this game. I think it's his third goal of the season as well, isn't it? And again, this is the second week running. Blackburn have just carved a team open and given Adam Armstrong a tap-in, who now has 5 goals already for the season. That's come over from the right. A lovely counter-attack. Did exactly the same kind of manoeuvre for the goal for Armstrong against Wickham, his hat-trick goal. Last week, again, is possession 9-10 to the law. Not if you're going to lose 4-0. 62% possession and a 4-0 defeat there. However, look at the Blackburn shot count. 23. I repeat, 23 shots Blackburn had in this game. 10 on target to Derby's 5. 4 corners to 9. 3 big chances to 2. They're finishing... Well, we said a couple of mitigating factors on the finishing. 1 deflection, 1 off the post and straight back to Dolan. But 4-0, it's 4-0, is what I will say. Derby, so lots of the ball, but not really making any chances. And maybe it was one of those days where everything just flies in the net and, the ball comes off the post straight to Dolan. Johnson flings one in from 25 yards and then a deflected one. And then they're just picking you off number 4. So I'm sure that would be the argument. But Blackburn, great stuff. 9 goals in the last 2 games, 11 for the season. Blackburn are prolific. Let's have a little look here. Blackburn becoming a favourite second team of mine in this league. Yeah. Derby are poor. Thanks for Bennett from Millwall. Koku will get sacked. Rooney will take over. Yeah. I really rate Armstrong. He's 5 goals already. He's on for a decent season. Dolan looks good. Yes, he does indeed. Doesn't he? Blackburn are a poor man's version of Warburton's strategy. Elliot, have you ever seen a Tony Mowbray team play? I wouldn't compare them to a Mark Warburton team. Although they're getting loads of goals, don't worry. Tony Mowbray knows how to defend. He really, really does. Nick says, like Blackburn, decent side and manager who's a gent. Absolutely, he is, yeah. Hope Dak comes back as good as he was. Yeah, he just doesn't seem to fit in that system, does he? Unless he plays wide. Real number 10, Dak, isn't he? Blackburn can't stop scoring. Always like Blackburn as a club. Love to know what Rooney's salary is. Well, remember, it's all one sponsorship from 32 Red. So Nick says they're playing him in sweets and crisps. There we go. Let's have a look here. Derby are struggling without the wonderful man that is Lampard. I struggle to see Blackburn keeping this up. Everything seems to be falling for them. Well, they are finishing everything off, and good luck to them. Great start for Blackburn Rovers. We are halfway through. We're going on to Birmingham versus Rotherham. It was Birmingham 1, Rotherham 1. We predicted this would be a low scorer, didn't we? Paul Warne versus Aitor Karanka. Birmingham still unbeaten. Still no goals conceded from open play when we have a look at this and consider that this one is from a penalty. Let's just have a look at those teams. Get your comments in. Birmingham versus Rotherham here. Etheridge, Colin, Dean, Friend, Pedersen, Bella, Clayton, Sunjic, Sanchez, and we predicted a 4-4-2. Hogan and Jutkovic. Lots of people predicting San Jose coming into that central midfield. So they seem to have got some options now, Birmingham, haven't they? Rotherham there, Blackman in goal, Harding, Ehekwa, McDonald, Jones, Angus McDonald, that is. Ogbene, Sean McDonald, Wiles, and Miller. Crooks off Hurst up top. George Hurst gets the start. And let's have a look. We can have a look at these 2 penalties going in. I'm not going to get into any debate about either of the penalty kicks. Feel free to put your comments in on them. Christ, who's the goal scorer? Dear oh me. It is Kieran Sadlier smacking that one in to the roof of the net. Jeremy Bella, who conceded that, slides that one in, spot the ball, just nestling in the net there. Both goals coming late on in that game. Let's have a look at the numbers. Well, we know what Rotherham's numbers are likely to be most of the season, don't we? Low on the possession, but they create chances, though, don't they? 56-44 to Birmingham on the possession, 13 shots to 9, only 5-3 on target. 2 big chances apiece, though. Obviously, one of those apiece are the penalties, and they both scored them. 3-4-3 to 2-6-1. So low on the pass count here on both sides. What did Norwich have? 620, and Derby the absolute same. Any comments on this one? David says, not a great performance for Birmingham. Toothless up front. Interesting, they were toothless up front. Now they've gone to a front 2 with Hogan and Jutkovic. You'd think that would be a good outlet for them. Good front 2, that. 2 soft penalties should have ended 0-0, and no points each would have been fairer. Well said. Is that Sean McDonald, the ginger one who played for Bournemouth? Pass. Someone will let me know in the chat here. Think football was the loser in this game. My prediction, Wickham, Rotherham, and the other. I have no idea. Are we talking about people going down? Karanka v Ward, no goals from open play. Shock horror. Brum will always struggle against teams that play similar to us. Good results. That will be interesting to see where we're at. Need a few more goals, but what's new? Aha. I'm not looking at the XG, David. I'm using SofaScore this season. So we'll look at big chances, which is what chances is what XG is based on. So no, I'm not quoting XG this season. Let's move on. We're going to Millwall and another 1-1 draw. Millwall stay unbeaten. Brentford just sliding their way up the table after losing at Birmingham on the first day of the season. And much maligned in these chats, actually, Ivan Toney gets off the mark in this one from the spot after Jed Wallace's goal. Let's have a look at the teams there. Bart in goal there. Cooper, Pearce, Hutchinson. Nicely settled now, this Millwall system, isn't it? The 3-4-3. Malone and Romeo, the wing-backs. Woods and Leonard in midfield. Bennett and Wallace wide of Bradshaw. So Smith, Bodvarsson and Bradshaw there. Bradshaw getting the start. Brentford, the very well settled as well. Very much like Millwall there in terms of knowing what the system is. 4-3-3 there. Luke Daniels in goal. David Raya not playing. He played in the League Cup game. It's very interesting that. Very good goalkeeper, David Raya, but Daniels has a shirt. Dalsgaard, Janssen, Pinnock, Henry is the back 4. De Silva, Norgard, Marcondes over Jensen in midfield there. And Buemo, Tony and Canos. So nicely settled team. I keep saying it every time I talk about Brentford. We think, look, Ben Rama hasn't kicked a ball yet. Was he on the bench? Did someone tell me? Let me just have a look down there. Oh, look down there. Saeed Ben Rama, I stand corrected, came on in the 73rd minute. Are they keeping him warm? Or are they saying to him, look, no one's met your valuation. You're going to have to play until January or until someone meets your valuation. I do still think, given that Watkins went out for a ton of money, that they'll still bring people in. Let's have a look at the stills on this one. Oh, where are they? Jed Wallace scoring a header from... who put that crossover? Someone will let me know. Probably Scott Malone if it was from the left. Do let me know if you know who put that one in. Or was it? I don't know. Wallace heading in. And Ivan Toney slides the penalty in there to Białkowski's right-hand side for 1-1. Let's have a quick little look at the numbers. We'll see what they tell us. If anything, as always, the caveat with any statistics I use, we do not judge. Football is something that needs to be judged on many factors of analysis, not just one. So please don't say, oh, you said more possession, we still won. Remember, we're smart here, I hope. We look at lots of different factors, including our eye test and including stats. And stats sometimes tell us absolutely nothing. 54-46 possession there, 9 shots to 8 in Millwall's favour, 3 shots to 1 on target. Yeah, it looked like not much in this game at all. One big chance. A piece there, 502, as we'd expect Brentford to outpass most teams to 4-3-3. So looked like a fairly evenly matched one. Let's get your comments in this one. What do we got here? Oliver says, good result, never a pen. Alex says, much improved performance. This for all their pretty play. Brentford only had 1 shot. Well, and there you go. That's where that's what we like when the numbers add up to Alex's eye test. There, it looks correct. They will come on to Forest in a minute. Andrew, surprisingly, possession stats were close. You expect Beast to dominate? Yeah, not anymore though. With Millwall though, Millwall are so well set up now, aren't they? Ben Rama came on. Yes, indeed, he did. Brentford manager thinks we will get top 6. That's interesting. I know people don't like Thomas Frank, but he knows what he's talking about and he knows what he's doing, doesn't he? Mick says Bradshaw needs to be dropped. I'm surprised that they haven't given Smith a go. Play Smith, also need to get attacking midfielder. I think Smith sometimes get left out from Millwall because he's not very mobile. But if you've got runners around him, use his aerial prowess. And he's quite a clever player playing around the corner in the same way Bamford did for Leeds, playing people in and things of that nature. So Rout needs to get a striker. Well, Troy Parrott again, not fit. If Ben Rama loses form, Brentford could lose big time. Bye-bye, Ben Rama and Reyes, says Matt. Oh, Bennett crossed it in. Thank you, 3 people, for telling me their brilliant stuff. Thank you. Nick says, please see Millwall going well despite no crowd. Which probably hinders them the most. We never like playing them. And they've probably taken our crown as the EFL's enemy. There we go. Gazza says, even games could have gone either way. Bradshaw missed a great chance. Yes, I did see that Romeo hit the bar as well. He spanked it, didn't he? Ben Rama is a 2.0 Riyad Mahrez. He can be, hey? Bradshaw is terrible. Need 2 new forwards. Bradshaw should have scored, but he worked so hard to stop Bees playing out. Yeah, in some of these games, especially when you're against a team that plays out from the back like Brentford do, you do just want a fit guy to press sometimes. And it's weird. Your number 9 actually becomes your first defender, doesn't it? Brentford are a team that I'd love to see in the Premier League. Big fan of Frank says, Ashley would take Jake Cooper at Wednesday. I bet you would. A few teams would take Jake Cooper there. Andrew says Brentford will crash and burn this season like Forest did last season. Right, okay, 4 to go. I'm just going to do a couple of plugs for the week ahead. We're all ahead of the game here, aren't we? Get our reviews up by Sunday on the channel here this season. On Monday, we're doing a Dearly Departed show. It's Fulham versus Villa. That will be a watch along. Let me know on transfers. There will be a transfer update on either Monday or Tuesday. We'll see what happens. Often the transfer market kind of drips into action and we get some announcements by lunchtime about sort of 3 o'clock, which is annoying for me when I'm doing a watch along. So it might be Tuesday. Tuesday, there'll be the Dearly Departed review. I know most of you guys are championship centric, but still worth keeping up with our promoted teams. On Wednesday, we will be here, Ask Away Live, and I hope I can confirm this. You requested Ben HD. Ben HD should be joining us on Wednesday at 7. A lot of people asked for him. We have DM'd. He has said yes, but, things happen. And hopefully we should have Ben HD on here on Wednesday night. And then we're back to another game. We'll do a little bit on championship teams left in the EFL Cup as well during the week. The 4th round of the EFL Cup. There is one more, isn't there? Then we come along to the weekend. Who is it on Friday? Bournemouth Cov, I think we'll be doing on Friday night. So there we go. Right. Let's move on. I'm so organised today. Look at this, guys. I've actually got a running order. I'm literally not just speaking into the computer. There we go. Right. Oh, just quick one there. The way Woods finds time and space is magical. You can't teach that. Also, Alex, as well, sometimes Woods is deceptive. Sometimes he hasn't got time and space, but he so trusts his first touch that he doesn't matter in tight spaces. I know we're talking elite players here, but Dennis Bergkamp famously said, don't worry about your pass. I will control it. So just give it to me. If you can get it to me in space and with quality, great. But I will control it. Don't you worry. I've worked on my control. And was there anyone better first touch than Dennis Bergkamp? What a player he was. Let's move on. We are on to QPR 1. Borough 1 in Shepherd's Bush. And QPR 11th in the table. Borough down in 18th, 2 points and 4 points for these two respectively. Let's have a look at the lineups and the benches. Akpom on his debut and Bright Asai Samuel with the goals in this one. There are the teams. Seni Diang in hang on, I get the Wednesday. Dawson is Wednesday. Lumley is, I don't know why I get those two mixed up, just young keepers. But Dieng in for QPR. Let me know, Rangers fans, what you think of that. Still, no Manning. I don't know if he's going to stay or is he going to go? So Wallace, Larbey, Dickey and Kakai. It's settled, but I'm sure Rangers fans would like Manning in there at left back. No offence to Wallace, but Manning, good player. Cameron and Amos. I did suggest that Amos would be better in a double pivot rather than the 10. And, well, Warburton did exactly what I thought he would. Almost like we've done this before on the channel here, isn't it? Chair, put him in the number 10, of course. Thomas, right. Asai, Samuel, left there. Is that correct? Inverted wingers, if that's the case. Lyndon Dykes has got the shirt and is going to get a lot of minutes up top. They're good to see. Bettinelli, this is settled from Warnock, isn't it? Jacksteele, Hall, McNair, the back three. Howson, sitting, it says, if that's the system. Johnson and Spence, the wing-backs. Tavernier, Saville in the central midfield. Assombalonga and Akpom gets the nod there over Ashley Fletcher, who does not appear to be on the bench. And Akpom gets himself a debut goal. Get your comments in on QPR versus Borough. That is Akpom. Look, can you see him there? Is he wearing 10 or 20? I can't read the number there. I need my eyes testing. Great flick on near post. You can see the ball flying into the far corner there. From the corner, Akpom scores on his debut. Warnock will love that. He won't love this. That is Bright Samuel sliding in the rebound. It did look a little bit own goalish, but they've given it to Samuel, I think. Let's have a look at the numbers in this one. Remember, this is Warburton versus Warnock, so I think we know what some of them will be. 56-44 in the possession, 14 shots to 7 in Rangers' favour there, 7 corners to 5. Big chances only 2-1 though, and 3-5 to 2-5-2 on the passing completion. Get your thoughts in on this one. Yes, you're going to have to scroll back for Rotherham. Yes, best wishes to Warnock. I hear Warnock talk to the players before the match. What a man, hey. QPR Forever says, Manning asking for way too much money. Is he playing for the under-23s? Not good. Not good at all. Where am I looking here? James says, just in time for QPR. Don't know what we do in training, but clearly don't practice corners. Yeah, it was a good header, to be fair. Akpom, the angle he heads it in from. But yes, you never like to see a free header from a corner. Happy Dieng is in now and want our youth players, Nico, to play Finnish International. Okay, at left back. Well, if they can't get Manning sorted there, then maybe there is a chance. So let me know about this Finnish guy, James. Wallace at fault for the goal. Been awful last 2 games, needs dropping. Yeah. Dieng looks a good keeper and Samuel off the mark. Excellent stuff there. Bergkamp is my hero, so good quote. I always get in trouble whenever we're talking about Championship and I talk about Maradona, Bergkamp, Messi, any of the greats. Someone says, "Oh, don't compare." But you know, the point stands. We hope you guys and you are among the smarter subscriber bases and understand that we don't have to take all comparisons completely literally. It's the point that normally stands. We have done Reading. Remember, we go down from the top of the league here. Reading are up the top, so they were done first. You can spool back while we are live. Matthew says Manning would be good for Watford. I think that's not a bad shout. They always play friendlies against each other, don't they? QPR and Watford. Watford play with wing-backs. They've got parachute money. Saab might go out very soon. I think that's quite a good shout, Matthew. Not that Rangers fans would like to see him go. Excuse me, I do so much talking on these watch-alongs now. Let's go on. Barnsley and Coventry. It was 0-0. So Cov will probably be quite happy. They're in 12th and they got 4 points from the last 2. Clean sheet. Both sides will be happy with that. Struber will be happy to be off the mark. It's a bit of a shame because these are 2 sides that I think we all enjoy watching, don't we? Both move the ball really nicely, both pleasing on the eye. Would have been nice if it was 2-2 or 3-3 rather than 0-0, but there you go. Hellick back from suspension and Anderson back from suspension after the Reading game and after the tanking at Swansea 6-0. Walton in goal, Solbauer, Hellick, Anderson. Williams, Ludovic. Styles starts in midfield with Mowat, Thomas off Chaplin, former commentary player, and Woodrow. Got some good players, Barnsley, haven't they? Morelli, this is a settled commentary side as well. Erstegaard, McFadzean, and Hyam are the back three. Darbo and Giles, the excellent wing backs there. Hamer and Sheaf gets the start. Godden, Allen, O'Hara. That's virtually the team that played in the TV game. We can go straight to the numbers and we can have a look. Presumably lots and lots of completed passes. Yes. 52-48 to Cov on the possession, 13 shots to 10 in Barnsley's favour. One big chance, so tight one, this one to nil in Barnsley's favour. They did not take it. Yeah, 4-17 to 4-4-3. So looks like lots and lots of passes, but not a lot of goals. Let's get your comments on this one. Stan Bowles wasn't half a bad player. Absolutely. Millwall of the Darkcaster says, David... The other David says, on that basis, as a Birmingham fan, I won't need to worry about missing the start of the show for the foreseeable. Obviously, David, you're here for the whole show, aren't you? And to help everybody out. Also, I forgot to say, every outfield player, Bradshaw, touched the ball and built up to goal. Interesting. And Bart still to conceive my play in the league. Lovely stuff. Yes, Max, just on the Pepsi tonight. I shouldn't drink every day. It's naughty, isn't it? Iain, we've done Watford, but you can spool back if you want to have a look. Super Matty, God, an old Stevenage boy. Interesting, didn't know that. Great victory for Leeds. Getting a soft spot for Ipswich, of course you are, Darren. Well done. Barnsley channel, Tykes TV, not happy with this game. I watch a Barnsley stream, their rumour streamer may be leaving. Yeah, the rumour is New York, isn't it? Oh, that's a good point. He was at one of the Red Bull clubs, wasn't it? Thank you, David. And hello to Ollie. You are late, but hey, we'll still have you. We'll still have you here for the last bit. 2 games to go here. And first, we are off to Deepdale, where it was Preston 0, Stoke City 1. Alex Neil not happy because a red card to Tom Barkhuizen in this game, in the opinion of Alex Neil, put it into Stoke's favour. We kind of know how this one's going to look, don't we, with Neil and O'Neill, Alex Neil and Michael O'Neill. It's going to be a bit of a battle. Get your thoughts in on Preston versus Stoke. It was Rudd. Did they really play a back three? Can that be true? I'm not sure about that formation, but maybe Alan Brown played right back. He has played there before. If you happen to know whether that team shape is correct or not, do let me know. Let's go with what they say then. Davis, Bauer, Story, centre-halves. Sinclair and Barkhouse and wingbacks. Just can't see that being the case. Ledson, Brown, Pearson, Maguire and Stockley. Surely that'll be a 4-2-3-1. For Stoke, Davis. That looks far more likely. Chester, Suter, Fox, the back three. Smith, McLean. He's been a really good player for Stoke. Klukas, John Obi McKell in central midfield. Tashan Oakley Booth, very highly rated. And Fletcher starts up top with Lee Gregory for you Millwall fans watching in here. Let's look at the stills. I thought I would bring the red card up. Now, you can see by Tom Barkhuizen's right arm, even with a still, he slips over. He slips over, which then kind of means he falls into a two-footed tackle. So this is a pretty grey area, isn't it? The laws say reckless and endangering the opponent using excessive force. Well, he does endanger the opponent, but it's not reckless. And the excessive force only comes from the fact that he's falling over when he hits the guy. So, look, again, we're debating a subjective decision, aren't we, as to whether any of those things add up. And remember, it only has to be one of them. I think the laws say any of those things. So, look, the ref's got a pass. If he's saying that it endangers the opponent, then it's a bit harsh on Barkhuizen because he's slipping over, but he can buy that. And look, if you're a Preston fan, you say he slipped over. It's not reckless. If you're a Stoke fan, you say, no, red card. He's endangering the player. I don't care whether he slipped over. Danger is danger is danger. It's arguable both ways. Remember, when you're debating this in the comments, if you want to, this is not black and white. There is no right or wrong answer on this. They have made it subjective. Therefore, you cannot be right. You cannot be wrong. You can just have your opinion based on the law. All I would say is please respect others' opinions, quote the law, and you're entitled to your opinion is what I would say. And it went against Preston, didn't it? Let's just say, because John Obi McCall, you can see in the shot, slides that across the box. And that is Lee Gregory with the only goal of the game. Let's have a look at the numbers. Get your comments in on the red card, on the game, whatever you want to say. 65-35, the possession. Obviously, the red was early in the game. How early in the game was it? Sorry, let me just get my facts correct here. God, 22 minutes. So that probably explains the possession, doesn't it? 10 against 11 for well over an hour of this one. 15-14 on the shots, though. So good effort from Preston, despite having 10 men. But as always, I will repeat myself. Big chances are revealing 3-0, which says that the red card probably makes Stoke strong favourites and they go on and win this game 4-7-8 to 2-5-7. But we know Preston don't particularly need the ball to win games. Just have a look at your comments on this one. The Neil derby went to O'Neill this time. Well said, Matthew. Oliver would like Lee Gregory back. He'd fit in lovely in that striker position, wouldn't he? Fletcher and Gregory, the size front line ever. Ollie says, never a red. Remember, it's subjective. So, in my opinion, never a red. Anything there? Fletcher's... Oh, yes, I saw that. Fletcher nearly scoring with a Rabona. Hits the bar. Oh, surged up the Fantasy League. Millmore, 20... Oh, God. He's coming for me. Punk Chef, gutted with our result, but at the end of the day, it's going to be a long season for us. Who's your team, Punk Chef? A long season, hey? Anybody anymore for anymore? Alex says, I want to see a player sent off for trying to hurt another player, not for slipping. Yeah. I think we all echo that, don't we? He's whichever way, even if you do argue that it's a red, he's unlucky, isn't he? Because he clearly slips over here. Why are Leeds fans on here? Because they love it, Andrew. Hey, Stockholm syndrome. Absolutely, indeed. Our Punk Chef, Sheffield Wednesday. Indeed. Chansiri needs to have Spendergeddon too. He needs to be careful not to do FFP again. Think if you was an opposition fan, you'd probably just laugh player got sent off, but understand it's harsh. Yeah, it's one of those ones where if you are happy, which football fans often aren't, I agree with Jay there. If you're happy to confess your inherent bias, then you'll say, I'll take that as a red card. There we go. Right on cue there. Aquatic says tackle of the week goes to Hog on Arter, which we are about to talk about. Our last game is Huddersfield 1, Forest 0. And that one where perhaps a red card could have been given, but did not get given. It was Huddersfield 1, Forest 0. All is not well at Nottingham Forest. We watched this. We did the watch along. I saw every minute of this game, but we have to go. Excuse me. I need a swig of my drink. To a super chat, thank you. Congrats with the start of the season for Ipswich. Yeah, 3 wins in a row for Ipswich, top of the league. Wow. Norwegian Krona 44. Thank you so much to the Trine for a super chat there. Thank you very, very much. Very, very kind. And thank you for the nice words. As an Ipswich fan and as a sensible person, I have learned to shut up when my team is winning because it probably won't last. I do not indulge myself in football banter, but I'm obviously very happy with 3 consecutive 2-0 wins to start the season. But we started well last year at Ipswich, didn't we? Right, we're coming up to the hour mark, so we'll hurry the hell up. Let's do the Huddersfield team first, because the Forest selection was sensational in its shock for me. Huddersfield there, Hamer in goal, Toffolo, Critchlow, Stearman and Pippa, Bakuna and Hogg, the double pivot, excuse me, and Benza, Pritchard and Karoma, and Campbell up front. Now, I worry immediately when I see a team choice like that. When Paul Hurst was at Ipswich and he started doing things like this, it was like, this guy's lost it. None of his philosophies are working. None of his ideas are working. He's just throwing players out there now. Look at this. Brice Samba in goal. An entirely new back four from last season. Krissy, So, who played quite well, actually. McKenna and Blackett is the back four now. Remember, last year, it was Cash, Worrell, Figueiredo, and who was the left back? Ribeiro. Jim, thank you so much. £1 for every Wednesday home goal I expect this season. Thank you, sir. Jim with a £7 super chat. Then Colback, Sal, Arter makes his first start and gets nobbled after 40 seconds. Amiobi, Lyle Taylor in, and Luke Freeman look at the bench. Joe Lolly, Lewis Graben, the two best players for Forest last season from an attacking point of view. So it really did start to smell of throwing a lot of you-know-what at the wall and hoping that some of it sticks. I really like Lamucci, but this was uncomfortable, and so was that. Ouch. Hogg could have seen red. I can only think that the referee didn't see that. If we're looking for a serious foul play decision, we're looking, as I always quote the laws, we are looking for reckless, excessive force and endangering the opponent. So certainly on endangering the opponent, then Hogg could have been red carded after 40 seconds. And I think, was it a Bournemouth fan told me that there's previous between Hogg and Arter from a Huddersfield-Bournemouth game. So, let me know what you think. But let me know what you think of that. Whatever you say about Forest, what a goal that Huddersfield scored. It was Mbenza, or was it Diakabi? I can't remember. Slides the ball down the line for Toffolo. He dinks it in, and what a goal. Fraser Campbell on the, let's just call it a mega volley. Sideways, horizontal, right foot volley. That's going to fly into the corner. Brilliant stuff from Campbell there. For 1-0, let's have a look at your comments before we go to the league table. Where's Mick McCarthy? He's waiting for the Forest job. Is Carvalho going to eventually live up to his price tag? No, because his price tag was 13 million euros. So, it would be tricky for him. Oliver says Forest seem to have gone downhill. Yes, it does seem to coincide with that 3-0 win of Millwall's up there. Oliver is here, very happy. Not perfect, but much better when Campbell scored 6 in the box, virtually unheard of in the last 3. 2.91 on the XG. That is encouraging, isn't it? So much higher than we've seen for a while. Well done, Oliver. Brilliant stuff for Huddersfield getting the first win there under Carlos Corberan. Jason says, don't know what happened. Don't know what to say about Forest. Lockdown seemed to have done them no favour. Struggle since even Paul Lamucci seemed lost in the air. It was uncomfortable, the close-ups on his face, wasn't it? There's just this sense that when you play a kind of pragmatic defensive football, if you stop winning, there's kind of nowhere to go because you don't make that many chances anyway, and it's predicated on it being tight, isn't it? So Alex says, if you're Tom Barkhuizen and you see that challenge, I think we can get behind that comment. So how much longer do you think Lamucci will last at Forest? Look, I would give Lamucci the chance to sort this out, but it doesn't look good. Graben is essentially his star striker, and they're so frosty on the touchline when he brought him on. I think Lamucci has kind of made a rod for his own back a little bit by, making all of those changes. I mean, even if one of Lolly and Graben had come out, it would have been a story for us. But I'd give him a chance, but all is not well. And there's a point when it just becomes untenable and the players aren't playing. There's too many changes, and it needs someone from Yorkshire maybe to go in and sort it out. Mick McCarthy. There we go. Huddersfield doing okay without Carl and Grant. Well, first win. I think, Jim, they'd be doing a lot better without him. Let's just say we have done all the games. El Capone, spool back for Watford. Mr. Football says, great win for us if we play like that against Rotherham and take our chances. Easy 3 points. You just got to defend against Rotherham. Rotherham can have none of the ball and whip 2 goals past you before you've even known it. Graben and Taylor is more of a sulky front pair. Yeah, we haven't seen them up front together just yet, have we? But will Lamucci get a taxi if he loses next week? Aquatic, I suspect he will. I think, remember, this is Nottingham Forest. This is 2-time European champions, Nottingham Forest. They will not like the look of 4 straight defeats and only Wednesday on the minus points below them in the table. Right. Speaking of the table, let's have a look at it. And it reads very nicely. Can I make it any bigger before we bring it up there, guys? Yes, I can. We'll go from the top downwards. Bristol City top under Dean Holden. Brilliant start. 3 straight wins. Reading top under Veljko Paunovic. Both teams 6 goals to 1. A little bit of an idea that Bristol City are performing to that 9 points, whereas Reading maybe the Barnsley game without the red cards and some sense that they edged that Cardiff game. But well done, Reading. They're up there. I would just be more worried about Reading regressing to the mean at the moment than Bristol City. Bristol City wouldn't regress to the mean because they're playing well and the numbers back up their position. However, we've seen Bristol City under old Streaky Lee win lots of games and then lose lots of games. I wonder if a similar thing may happen under Dean Holden. But well done, Bristol City and Reading. Please don't be a thin-skinned football fan. I'm just laying it out. I'm not going to say, oh, Bristol City and Reading are now going to finish in the top 2. I can't do that. I haven't got enough evidence to say that. That's all I am saying. Swansea, Bournemouth, Watford, all on 7 points. We'll be very happy with their starts. Swansea haven't conceded a goal. A couple of mitigating factors with Bournemouth and Watford. Bournemouth fans will hope they start to score some nice pattern of play goals. Do you know what I mean? They scored a lot of worldies, which is great and shows that they have really good players who are helping Jason Tindall out as he feels his way into this job. But if I'm a Bournemouth fan, I want to see a couple of goals where they pass it through, create a tap-in, and it doesn't have to be on at Danjuma smashing one in from 20 yards. And for Watford, there's just a sense, look at that, 7 points from 2 goals. That is efficient from Vladimir Ivic, isn't it? There's just a sense that they've not blown anyone away yet and they have good players and they're organised. That's all I'm seeing from Watford at the moment. But congratulations to all of those top 5. Oliver's asking me to make that, but I'll try and make it bigger. And maybe we can scroll down a little bit. Or no, we can fit all 24 in there. Hopefully that's a little bit better. I've got to see it as well. That's the only issue. Blackburn and Luton on 6 points. Blackburn, amazing last 2 games. We'll see if that continues. Luton, amazing first 2 games. We'll see if that continues. Who did Blackburn lose to? They lost to Bournemouth and Luton lost to Watford. So those 2 teams have only lost to ex-Premier League teams. Birmingham and Millwall, definitely in the hard-to-beat category. They're on 5 points. And then we have a load of teams, win 1, draw 1, lose 1. Brentford, QPR, Coventry, Norwich, Rotherham, Stoke. We would expect Stoke, Norwich and Brentford to trend upwards. QPR and Coventry maybe to stay where they are. Maybe Rotherham to trend downwards. Let's find out. Again, please, this is not a channel for thin-skinned football fans. If I see evidence to the contrary, I will praise your team and say, no, of course they're not going to trend down. So let's just all be realistic, okay? Cardiff on 3 points and Huddersfield with 1 win there. Borough, no wins. Preston and Barnsley only on 1 point. And then Forest, Derby and Wickham, 3 defeats. Wednesday below them on the -12. However, they have scored 4 points, which is 4 more than all of the 3 teams above them and more than all of the teams up to Cardiff in 6 points. But they are coming back from a -12. Right, let's do a quick little straw poll. Who is your team of the week? We had Bristol City winning their 3rd game, Reading winning at Cardiff, Swansea, well, they took the foot off the pedal after going 2-0 up early. Bournemouth beating Norwich, Watford beating Luton. Maybe Blackburn might be a good shout. Oh, excuse me. Blackburn might be a good shout with a 4-0 away win there. Birmingham and Rotherham and Millwall and Brentford drawing, as did QPR, Borough and Barnsley and Coventry. Stoke with an away win with a red card. Huddersfield against Forest. I think I've answered my own question that Blackburn are probably our team of the week, aren't they? There's not really that many other contenders, aren't they? Right. If anyone wants to nominate a goal of the week, maybe one of Brady Johnson's first, maybe Dan Juma's goal for Bournemouth. I'm trying to think. Lucas Zhau's nice feat for Reading. I'm trying to visualise the other goals. The Millwall, apparently the passing move that had 10 players touch the ball. Huddersfield, Fraser Campbell. That might be a really, really good shout there for goal of the week. Let's do some questions. If you've got any questions, I'll stay on for 5 more minutes and do that. Excuse me. Let's have a look at some of your comments. Jim says, I'll just go back to full screen, guys. I'd have taken 4 points from 3 tough games. Absolutely. For Sheffield Wednesday, and I'm just going to bring my phone up to do this. If I'm a Sheffield Wednesday fan, I'm targeting 60 points to stay up, as in scoring 60 points, minus 12 off that, 48. That should do it. So I'm going to go 60 divided by 46, 1.3 points per game. 4 divided by 3. Sheffield Wednesday are on 1.33 points per game. If Sheffield Wednesday go through the season, win 1, draw 1, lose 1, they will likely stay up unless we have a situation like we had last season where only one team at the top, heads towards 2 points per game. The table doesn't get stretched and all of the teams at the bottom score. Charlton, what did Charlton get relegated with? 49? So that would be the fear. But if I'm a Wednesday fan and my team, even if I'm still on minus points and my team's getting 1.3 per game, I'm okay with that. I know it looks rubbish, Jim. Well, it's -9, but there you go. James, don't call them Bristol. You get in trouble. Bristol City, Watford for automatic. Blackburn to win the playoffs. Wickham, Wednesday, Rotherham to go down. There you go. He's laid it all on the line there. QPR Forever says we need a defensive coach and new players. Remember, sometimes you cannot attack the way QPR do without it resulting in you being open. And honestly, I'd rather watch Warburton's QPR than say Mick McCarthy's Ipswich in the later years. Obviously, they were up the top of the table in the early, for one of the years. When do you look into the Yorkshire Derby? The try and I did a watch along. So you can watch my reaction there, but we will be doing the Dearly Departed review on Tuesday morning. Jay says, can I nominate the most boring game of the week? Blues versus Rotherham. We expected, I won't say boring. We expected it to be tight, didn't we? Fraser Campbell, goal of the week. It was a cracker, wasn't it? Yeah, I can't really argue with that one. The Jed Wallace header. I think for me, Blackburn are the team of the week, or the result of the week, performance of the week, whatever you want to call it. And Campbell is the goal of the week. Jay, the game was for the public good. Who would be desperate to get back to football after that? Absolutely. There we go. Right. I'm going to say thank you very much. Put your hand up if you did the whole stream. Sorry, I think Oliver's put that before. Oliver says, I can't get my head around it. You can go to cinema, pub, restaurant in confined spaces, but you can't go to watch a game of football in open air. If you look at us, e.g. Millwall, it's just as safe. I don't get it. Let me attempt to explain to you what I think is happening, Oliver. And I'm not saying you have to like my explanation. And what I'm about to say might not necessarily be right. But with this COVID thing, first and foremost, look, I'm a musician. And the things that get cancelled are entertainment events that involve lots of people coming together. They're the things that we are told we can't do. So they're the first things that get cancelled. And obviously all music and big events with big crowds get cancelled. Now, where I agree with you is the open air thing. And is it safe for people to sit in open air, 3 seats apart, 90 minutes, wearing masks, social distance, 2 meters? Probably it is safe. Yeah. The issue is, one, large crowds and crowd control. So it's turnstiles and people queuing up. And I mean, obviously, we've all been to probably theme parks where you have long queues. Maybe you could do it like that if there's only 1,000 people. So that would be one issue. And then people leaving at the end. Would you have to stagger? The back row leaves first. And then the other question is, would people follow the instructions? And this is where we say that we all love football and we are all football fans. Can football fans be trusted? I would hope they could. I think I can be trusted as a football fan. I would turn up at the time. I would wear my mask. I would social distance. I would stay 10 minutes at the end if it meant I had to be staggered with my exit. I think I could do it. Could everybody? I don't know. And I think football fans, maybe they get a bad rap sometimes. I feel I'm a trustworthy human being who can follow instructions. However, have football fans let themselves down in the past? Yes. Yes, they have. They've not followed instructions. They've done silly things. They've done things wrong. So I think that's where we're at with it. However, I don't think it will be like this for the whole 6 months. I just don't think it can be. I think if they can control the R number, then people will come in as we'd planned. If it's 1,000, but that would be my feeling on it. Yes, people can go into the cinema. I just feel that they can control the cinema. There's not going to be 1,000 people in one showing, and I just think that the cinema has less of a bad rep. So whether you think that's right or wrong is open to opinion. I just think that's what their view is. That's my guess. I'm not saying it's right, but that's what I seem to. Football seemed to be the kicking boys for it. Yeah, and don't forget music as well. Lots of my friends who are musicians can't do a gig. People can't come in. Theatres are going down, aren't they? So there we go. Cheers, Ben. See you for tomorrow night's stream. Nice one, Alan. Yeah, we'll be doing Fulham Villa 5:45 tomorrow. Katie says I'm very late. Yes, I did see Tom James free kick yesterday. We have to do something with fullbacks called James. The ticks are going up. Brilliant goal. Glenn says, yes, he's Wednesday, isn't he? I think we need a striker. If we don't someone soon, I feel we'll go on a bad run. And I still have my doubts about going wrong. What do you think? It's all psychological, I think, with Wednesday, isn't it? So I think if they can just keep ticking along, 1.33 points per game, they'll be okay. But they just need to accept that they might not catch up or possibly be out of the relegation zone, even by playing well until maybe 10 games towards the end of the season. So Alex says Millwall fans can't even sit in their own seats, let alone follow rules like that. Well, that's Alex's words, and he's a Millwall fan. Look, Ipswich fans in away games can't do it either. They just refuse to do it. They refuse to sit down and they refuse to sit in an allocated seat. There's this, no, I'm a macho football fan. I'll do what the hell I like. And no offence, lots of away fans do that, not just Ipswich. And then these same fans wonder why they won't be let in when instructions need to be followed really, really closely. So you can't have it. You can't have it both ways, can you? You can't go to away games and not sit in your allocated seat, not sit down when you're told. People smoke in the games when they're told not to. People smoke in the stadium when they're told not to. People smuggle their beers in. Football fans don't follow instructions. They just don't. It's not just football fans. We've seen it with many people in society. I've seen it in the blooming supermarket. They put the one-way system out and people just ignore it. Humans, maybe, unless there's a gun to their head, just not very good at following instructions. They think, oh, if I just break that rule, it won't affect anyone, will it? So there we go. People need to be patient. We all want to watch football, not risking health for... Yeah, quite. Oliver counters that by saying been patient for 6 months. Yes, but guys, two things can be true. Oliver, you're right. We have been patient. And Jay is also right that we need to be patient. It's annoying. And I think what's most annoying is that we were so close, weren't we? But believe me, when you get a scare, we had a scare at Shaley's school. It's not fun. And you can see how weird this thing transmits itself. And how hard it is to track. What we're waiting for is a COVID test that the results come back in 10 minutes or less. Because then what we can do is we can say, come to the football, get in the queue, social distance in the queue, wear a mask, take your COVID test. And if your COVID test comes back negative, you can come into the ground. And you can take your mask off as well because you don't have it. If your COVID test comes out positive, you need to get lost, go home and isolate for 14 days. Once we get that, we can do things like that, assuming we can get mass-produced COVID tests. So that would be my feeling, or vaccinations. Now, I know I'll get pushback when I say this because the Prime Minister hasn't been too consistent in some of the things he said, but I do not understand why he would go on the lectern and say 6 months and use that number. That would make me think that they're confident of having either a test that comes quickly, the result, or a vaccination or a vaccine that's over 75% reliable within that 6 month period. But I understand I'll get pushback because they've been inconsistent there. Jim's got it there. A breathalyzer thing that might be nearly instant. That will be fine. Come with your mask, take the test, and in you go. Fine. Take your mask off. You haven't got COVID. You can't give anyone COVID if you haven't got COVID. We all know that, don't we? Pie and coronavirus there. Get tested in the ground. Exactly, Oliver. That will be when we can go in and we know it'll be safe. Either that or a vaccination. But there you go. Stephen says, everyone agreed with the rules until it applies to them. Exactly. There's a macho pack mentality. There is. We don't want to admit it, but there is. You get thousands at football. It's an emotionally charged environment. The cinema isn't quite the same. Yeah, he's right. I understand Oliver's frustration in terms of the equivalent, but David's argument there does make it a little bit of a false equivalent. That safety, yes, if someone goes into the cinema and they have COVID, that is not safe at all. That's way safer than 20,000 people being on a football stand and nobody has COVID. No, this is the thing. Nobody can catch it if nobody has it. We know that. That's one thing that is certain. But yeah, I understand everybody's frustration. I really, really do. I'm one of the lucky ones. I was allowed into Reading Barnsley in the press box. So I've seen a game, but it has to be safe, doesn't it? It really, really has to be safe. Jay says, still makes me laugh when Brighton allowed fans in for the Chelsea game. There you go. You can't even sing a hymn in church, so no singing. Arsenal will be okay. Right, guys, I've gone ages here, 1 hour, 23 minutes. So I will bid you all farewell. I will say thank you for joining. And especially if you've done the whole 1 hour, 23 minutes. Brilliant stuff. And I will see you in the week. We're doing Dearly Departed tomorrow, Fulham Villa watch along. There will be Dearly Departed review. Obviously, we prioritise the championship for those people that get on my back about doing Dearly Departed. Then it will be In Conversation with Ben HD and Ask Away on Wednesday night. We'll probably do Fantasy League on Wednesday as well. Championship preview Thursday. And then we are back into another game week weekend. Oliver makes a good point there, actually. Even if the club plays for the test, they would literally be making a profit if they can pay for the tests and do the stewarding and all of the other stuff. There we go. Thank you, Katie, and thank you, David. Thank you, Leeds 2020. Alex says, thank you. Oh, it's not a competition. I love Dan's channel there. But I'm really happy with my subscribers. And Dan is doing a great job over there. Fulham Villa, yes, live stream tomorrow, Jay, 5:45. That's a Dearly Departed special. Thank you to Glenn in the chat as well. Right, I'm going to get off and going to roll the credits. I'm going to say thank you one more time. If you haven't already, hit thumbs up in the chat. I really appreciate every last one of you. Thank you for those who super chatted as well. And I will see you guys whenever I next see you, which will no doubt be soon because you're a loyal bunch. Thanks for watching. Over and out.